spend more time on Facebook suffer higher rates of depression than people who spend less time on Facebook.
An Arkansas mother is dead after live streaming on Facebook.
Big mistake. And it was my mistake.
Social media. I'm sure that you have all heard of them, and at some point you most likely used one. They help the world connect, and in difficult times they enable society to keep operating as good as possible. You can learn, laugh and see other people's, let's say, very realistic lives. But the question remains, how do social media make their money?
If you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
All addiction, in time, it'll destroy relationships, it'll cost time, and it'll cost money, and it'll make your life worse.
Facebook was launched as the Facebook on January 4th, 2004, and it's valued at a good $1.21 trillion at the time we speak. Although you might think that social media exists to connect the world and make learning easier, this is far from the case. As we all know, there are three main things every man desires, which are power, money and sex, which is nothing wrong, of course. And like everyone else, the owners of social media companies want nothing more than those three things. And because money is the key to achieving the other two, they want to make as much of it as they possibly can. And when money takes over someone, they might do things that are, let's say, not so legal. But who really cares? If something illegal cost them 2 billion but it made them 10, then you just made 8 billion as easy as that. And let's be real, some of those things happen without you even noticing. So if the general public doesn't seem to care and they are not losing users, then why would they care? As much as people don't give the attention needed to this subject that is illegal, then most companies will not think twice about changing something that doesn't raise loads of negative eyeballs. And why would they do that? Do you really think that they actually care about giving their users the best experience? No, they want to get your money, or at least make as much as they can from you, and in best case scenario, without you ever even noticing. But if you're not the one buying anything, like in the case of social media, then how can we see companies like Facebook making over $86 billion in the year 2020 alone? Well, this is the profitable business of social media, and I am making this video to educate you on something you might never heard of before. Don't treat this video as a bad criticism of social media or that I am telling you not to use them. In fact, I use social media every day, but I believe that there are some things that you should learn to make you understand how these businesses work and also give you a choice to use social media or not.
Mr. Zuckerberg, would you be comfortable sharing with us the name of the hotel you stayed in last night?
No.
There is a problem that companies had to face when they were not selling you anything directly. And this problem was, of course, how would they make money? Now there are three really simple answers to this question: in-app purchases, ads, and selling your data. In-app purchases is when you see something inside an app that asks you to give money to get some extra perks. For example, YouTube Premium will eliminate ads if you pay an amount to them every month. Another idea could be that by purchasing something inside the social media app, you would get access to more emojis and filters. Have you ever seen any ads? I'm sure that in social media apps you have seen them very frequently, since they are one of the key roles on making their owners money. But how? Well, advertisers will spend money for their ads to appear on your eyes as much as possible to make you eventually buy their products. Today, companies spend over $378 billion on digital advertisement, which proves how many companies are willing to spend big bucks to show their products in front of other people's eyes. And finally, selling your data. I'm sure that this is the first time some of you hear about this and thinking that this can't be true. All those companies are talking about security and how it is their first priority. There is no way Mark Zuckerberg would do something like that. Well, wrong! First of all, he was very happy to sell data of 4,000 students, calling them dumb and that they shouldn't trust him. Selling your data is a technique used for a couple of years now, and although new policies are coming out trying to prevent things like that from happening, multi-billion-dollar companies will always find a way to keep up with one of their most profitable strategies, and at the end of the day, we are all human and make mistakes, right?
It was my mistake. It sounds like we made a mistake there. In retrospect, it was a mistake. We have made a lot of mistakes in running the company. It was my mistake. I apologize for that, and I'm sorry. And I'm sorry. And I'm really sorry that this happened.
Don't get me wrong, I'm touching on Facebook a lot because there have been loads of cases about them, and since Facebook is a monopoly, I mean has a little too much power by owning too many social media apps, it's really easy to talk about them.
Now,
But trust me, other companies that your kids and you might trust do very similar things. But why would they sell your data in the first place? So advertisers can understand their target audience better and get more sales. So what do they really sell from your data? In simple words, every single thing, from their app to other apps as well. Yeah, they sell your email, your phone number, every button you press, every like you put, and pretty much whatever else you can think of. Then advertisers get your data and start bombarding you with ads. That's why if you clicked on a basketball post, you will get more ads about basketball. Reminds you of anything? And that's why you see so many emails from other companies trying to sell you stuff. But there are some companies that have found another way to make money. I mean, help their customers because they believe in privacy. Take Apple for example, who released a new feature that asks you if you want some of those companies to track your data or not. Apple is one of the companies that has seen the potential and I believe really cares about their users' privacy. There have been even rumors that Apple might remove some of those apps if they don't change the way that they operate, basically forcing them to change if they don't want to lose a market as big as Apple's. For many people, getting ads that suit them the best is a good thing, but for the ones that want to stay private, now they at least have a choice.
You don't
What we
think you
do.
have a monopoly?
it certainly doesn't feel like that to me.
Okay.
Let's now talk about Facebook's monopoly. I mean anti-competitive, I mean a little too many social media companies in their behalf. Yeah, that will do. But before we get into that, I want to quickly mention that the data sold per adult every month is worth about $35. Multiply that by every adult and kid that is using her mother's email and you get an industry that costs over 200 billion US dollars. So, it's basic human behavior that my friend Mark would like to dominate in that field. For example, Facebook bought WhatsApp, which was a company that had very low revenue and cared a lot about their users' privacy, for $19 billion, so they could sell your phone number to companies all around the world without you ever even noticing. I could make a whole video about that, but there is already one by Magnets Media that I will link below. It is really good and you should definitely go watch it after you finish with this one. And that's just one of the companies Facebook owns. They also bought Instagram for $1 billion and a lot more companies that you will see in your screen right now. The problem with owning so many different companies is that they can see which users are using more than one of their apps and connect that to the others, selling your data with even smarter ways to make even more money. But that's not it. Facebook is using other smart but illegal strategies to make sure that no one else will get in their way and threaten their glory. If a company, for example, does not want to get acquired by Facebook, then Facebook will do everything in their power, which like I said they have a lot of, to just crush any competition, which is unhealthy for new companies that are just starting out and problematic for the economy as a whole. I personally don't believe that Facebook is a monopoly yet, but it has the potential to become one in the near future.
Do you or do you not collect identifiers like name, age, and address? Yes or no?
If you're creating an account, yes, and using an account, yes.
Specific search histories when person types something into a search bar.
If you have search history turned on, yes.
Device identifiers like IP address or IMEI.
Depending on the situation, we could be collecting it, yes.
GPS signals, Wi-Fi signals, Bluetooth beacons.
Would depend on the specifics, but there may be situations, yes.
GPS, yes.
Yes, if you have
And
location.
voice and conversations when using Google Voice products.
We give an option to turn on or off, and
But if a person didn't know it, voice and conversations when using Google Voice products. Yes.
we only record when they initiated with OK Google and then say the terms after.
Contents of emails and Google documents.
We store the data, but we don't read or look at your Gmail.
You have access to them.
As a company, we have access to them.
But is selling your data helping advertisers really show their ads to only people that are interested? If we think that the industry of doing just that is so profitable, then I would suggest that yes, it really is. If it wasn't, companies wouldn't spend so much money on that, and social media companies would just not sell your data because it has a big risk that they will have to deal with legal issues that would waste them money and time. But why is it so important to get everyone's personal data, to understand them, and not just get a graph that said that X amount of people are interested in this topic? Because when we are talking about companies like Facebook, that the average person will see 4,000 posts on a daily basis, then it's hard to create a graph that says who is interested in what, because a single person might be interested in 10 topics but saw posts that were about 100 topics. So advertisements would be a lot less successful, and they would not pay so much money to advertise their products, consulting in social media companies losing some money. But let's now be realistic. To begin with, not every company is like that. There are many companies that do care at least a little bit about their users' privacy, and because of the new policies that are taking place, more and more companies are starting to use other strategies that are a lot better for protecting your privacy. If you're interested in finding out which social media companies you can trust, I would suggest that you do your own research. For example, now they use things like keywords and analytics to target their audiences without knowing who those people are directly. But still, after you heard all of those things, you are probably furious about what those companies are doing and getting your own very private data. Like what, they are not respecting our human rights? And the next thing you do is open Facebook to look deeper into this problem, giving them more of your data. What I'm trying to say is that although you learned about those things by watching this video, will it really affect your daily lives? Or has anything of the tactics big social media companies do affected you at all for those years? In most cases, the answer is no. So, I would encourage you to now go open Facebook and look at how a guru can double your money in an hour by investing in cryptocurrencies. If you're still here, that means that you watched the whole video till the end, and I want to say a very big thanks to you for doing that, because you helped me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you liked the video, don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe to the channel to help me out even more, and don't lose the next video. That's it for me, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!